Hello, kiddos. Tanglewood Sue here. See if I can see what's happening. Coming at you live from my yard. Hoping this works today. Hoping this works for all of us because I have a fun project for us to try. And I started to set this up in my online studio. Forgive me, I got to put the glasses on. The glare is real. It's a beautiful day. It's in the mid 70s. I'm right outside DC. For those of you who don't know, I am Tanglewood Sue. Let me pull up my comments here so I can see those of you who come on with me. I'm Tanglewood Sue, and where are we? There we go. I heard someone. Nick's there. Cynthia, awesome. Cynthia's there. Hey, kids. So, Nick, you could just come to my back fence here. Just walk on over. We can wave. I have noticed, you guys, that I'm in Riverdale Park. Again, I'm Tanglewood Sue. I own Tanglewood Works, and I am the crazy-ass craft coach for the world. Because I own the URL, and therefore that makes it real. I've noticed that a lot of my neighbors in Hyattsville, so for those of you who are near a city, near a suburb, near a sub-suburb, you know, we've got DC, the city, and then on the suburb end, a medium-sized city is Hyattsville, still suburban. And then we've got little old Riverdale Park, and we are like, you know, or Edmonston, where Nick is, and we're kind of like on the wrong side of the tracks, you know, like people don't always venture over here. It costs less to live here. It's not as populated, but it's just as beautiful. Well, wouldn't you know, all my Hyattsville friends keep walking by my house. I'm thinking, what are you doing over here? Well, I know what they're doing over here. It's not so populated over here. We have room to breathe. You can walk down a street without running into 50 trillion people that you know. And I used to really envy my friends in Hyattsville because they could just walk out their door and see each other so easily, whereas I couldn't really afford to live on that side of the track. So I lived over here where I have to trek a little farther to say hi to a neighbor. Oh no, I did well. I am well here. So let us talk about what's happening. I made a little old YouTube video, you guys, a couple weeks ago on making a mask. And while I was doing that, you know, I couldn't just make a mask. I had to have some fun with it. So I used my DIY paints, and at the end, I had all these paints left. Like, you know how you start a project in the beginning where you're very fastidious, like I'm going to do this line, and then this line, and then this line. And at the end is where the real fun happens. Okay, I just firmly believe that's where the party starts. It's the after party. So I had all these little half cups of liquid paint, of paint mixed, watered down with water to do this effect. And so I thought, oh, I don't want to throw them out. Why don't I just throw them on this extra t-shirt and see what happens? So just something stuck in my throat, nothing to worry about. So this is what happened. Can you see that? Isn't that pretty? Let me see if you guys can see that better on I set up my webcam out here. The only issue is the glare of, will I be able to see everything here? Excuse me, guys. All right, here, I'll move this all down. There. You guys see that? Isn't that pretty? So I ended up getting all these fun colors happening. I'll tilt that up. By just dumping out all the paints. And this wasn't even what I dumped the paint onto. I'd actually dumped the paint onto a bunch of fabric like this to do the mask. And then I took this old t-shirt and I went right on top of it, and then I pressed down. And that's how I got this design. So I'm in my... Oh, got something stuck in my throat. I'm sorry. So I'm in iced coffee. I made too much coffee this morning. So I'm in this morning. I'm trying to think of a project for us, and I do need to go finish the dresser we started yesterday, but my knee was really hurting. You can see I'm in a knee brace today, just from being on that concrete, even for like 5 hours yesterday, really did me in. So I had to take a break from that, and I was looking around, and I was sitting in my little, I wanted to sit in my lounge chair, but it was filthy and gross, and I thought, oh God, I need to clean that out for the season. And then, let's make it pretty. That's what I thought to myself. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to do some tests. We're also going to do some tests. So please let me know if you have any questions as we go. Those of you who are new, welcome. If I cannot see Melissa, hello. Sing me some Cat Stevens later. Love Cat Stevens. That's what she was doing today. If I don't answer your question online, I go back through and I look at all the questions and I try to answer them when I'm done, because I can't always answer them while I'm doing it and I can't always see them. But if you have a question, I do go back through. You'll see that I do answer them, okay? So this is a big old cushion we have here. And here's what we're going to do. Let's just hurl that to the side for now. Hurl this over and hope it doesn't land in dog shit. You guys, I'm not here today because I can't be in my dining room. Can we just say a little yay? My tenant is gone. And we left on good terms. I mean, that was hard. There were a lot of times where we were like, oh, we've had it. We have had it with this situation. I'm going to talk and do this at the same time. So basically, what we're going to do is get our paints ready for this. And the first thing you want to do if you're painting fabric is decide what paint are you going to use. I'm not going to help you with that. Because today, I'll help you with that at the end of this, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to help you with that at the beginning of this, because we're going to try out different paints. Here's what we're trying out today. We're trying out, doing what I used before, which is using Debbie's Design Diary, okay? We know that's tried and true. We know that that will work to dye fabric. The jury is out, though, on its longevity, okay? As far as whether it needs a sealant or not, because the beauty of Debbie's is that it doesn't need a sealant. That it needs a sealant, but it's water soluble. So you do the math on that and you think, well, wait a second, if I'm doing my couch in this, what am I going to seal it with? So then by the time you add a sealant on your couch, it's starting to get crunchy. I'm just being honest. So Debbie has said on numerous occasions, don't put a top coat on, just let it heat seal. So use an iron, or over time it will cure. It's kind of like, think about it this way. If you spill the paint on the wood floor and you clean it up immediately, you've cleaned it all up. If you wait a year to clean up that, it's dyed it. You're not getting it up again, okay? So in between 0 and a year, your paint is going to cure and seal. It's just that for me, if this is going to be outside, I'm just not really sure if it's going to seal tight enough for what I need. So we're going to do a little testing. But Debbie's is so high in pigment that it goes a long way. So we don't want to be using up $50 worth of paint here to dye something. But her paints are so heavily pigmented that a little goes so far that I think that's going to be really good. I also have some leftover Dixie Belle from when I used to sell Dixie Belle. I actually used to really like doing fabric in Dixie Belle because it didn't require a top coat. Once I was done, and I didn't have to worry about it. I even did a purple chair and did the white jean test, and it was fine. Now, I'm now a retailer for Miss Lillian's No Wax Chalk Paint. Why? Because it's no wax. And it's very much like, it's closer to Dixie Belle than it is to Debbie's, okay? In that it doesn't require, hello Bluebell, in that it doesn't require top coat. So I want to try this today on fabric. So what I'm thinking is, my porch is all kinds of colors. So I'm going to start with some blue tones, blues and purples. We're going to start on the cool side, but we might pop in some others. Like yellow. YouTube booted you? Heather, why did YouTube boot you? All right, I'm going to have to find out more about that and see what's happening, because the whole reason I'm going through, so I don't yet have enough subscribers for YouTube to say, crazy ass craft coach, we want you to go live on our page. Like, I don't have enough love yet for that, but I know how to work around love. So I use a program, a third-party program, so that I can simultaneously broadcast to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Booyah, bitches! Okay, sorry, I digress. I'm going to find a way. Y'all heard me yesterday talking about how to make my own stencils and stamps. I'm going to find a way. So let's chat for a second and mix up some of these. I'll show you what I'm doing. I can see. Sorry, there's so much glare here. It's a little hard to do, but I think we got it. All right, so now it's windy out here, and I did not take that into consideration, which may end up being quite a problem. I don't know yet. We shall see if we're going to run into a crazy ass mess instead of just the crazy ass coach. Hold on, I'm turning off auto. There we go. All right, how are you guys doing today? Check in with me. You doing all right? You keeping busy? You keeping creative? You keeping sane? I do hope so. All right, so I'm just gonna, actually, I think we want to go a little bit heavier because of the wind. So I'm gonna put in some of the Dixie Belle Amethyst, and I'm gonna go, actually that was probably a little heavy on the paint. You can usually go 3 to 1, but we're gonna make a lot because we're gonna need a fair amount. I can read your comments now. It said violated terms of YouTube. Oh, for goodness sake. I'll have to look into that. I may not be live on there right now. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's about. I don't think there's anything I did to violate the terms of YouTube. Goodness gracious. All right, so we've got our purple, but I'm not going to worry about it today. And that's pretty soupy, but it's got a lot of pigment. What I want to play around with today is assessing basically which one of these has enough pigment to go the farthest. So like if I do the same amount of mermaid tail in there, okay, now let's put in a little there. Please don't blow over. I've got a little bit of a wind thing. We're just going to have to see like how much pigment there is. Let me move that over. Well, that's a bummer about YouTube. Well, you know what the answer to that is, you guys? I think I can go live straight from YouTube once I get 1,000 subscribers. So I'm almost halfway there. By halfway, I mean almost at 400. We're not going to worry about that math. There. See, I can already tell that Debbie's definitely shows more pigment in there. So that's Dixie Belle, Debbie's, and we are going to mix them all up together because I just want to see how I'll be able to test it over time and see kind of what spots fade, what doesn't fade, if, you know, how it all works out. And then this is Miss Lillian's. Why I have that big thing in there. So for the scientific method, we're going to use about the same amount of paint. There we go. I'm just using this t-shirt to wipe off. I also wanted to do this out here because this is going to be messy. There's no doubt about it. All right, so here's the thing. Those end up being about the same color, even though this one's much darker. That's kind of funny. All right, so we've got some blues here. I definitely think we need some other, let's see, I think the teal is going to be almost the same color. Let's do some lighter green in there. And we might need to add in some pink. Well, this is definitely darker. This is darker. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, thank you for sharing. Yes, if I can get to, the world opens up to you on YouTube when you get to 1,000 subscribers. You're allowed to post to your group. You're allowed, I believe, to start your own group over there. There's so many things that open up, and I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm getting very close. I think, based on how I'm doing every week, and I appreciate that. And I've got a new video that will be going live, hopefully in the next day or so, where me teaching my niece how to paint furniture. So here we go. All right, and then I'm going to move all these out of the way, and then we're just going to start playing. Now, on my video, I think you've seen enough of that. On my video that I did for the masks, I've done all these different kind of tie-dye methods. But what I really liked was just pouring one color into the other color and letting them just soak in. So we're just going to do, I think what I'm going to do is fold this up, this cushion, all right? So I got the pink, the purple, the teals, and I think, yeah, I'm going to do a pink. And then I'm going to call it a day there. See how that's going. I'm actually, all right, which do you want? Do you want me to try the Kissing Booth, or do you want me to try Miss Lillian's Raspberry Sorbet? All right, you guys vote. Tell me which one you want me to try while I put these lids on. And this probably won't be enough paint to do this, the whole thing, but at least we're going to get a test. Y'all know I like to test things out first a little bit. I love to experiment and kind of throw it all at the wall on something that I can toss away. But if we're going to do the whole thing, I want to make sure it works. So let me know. Sue, get away. Get away from your house. Oh, come on. I'm going to tie-dye everything, Nick. You think you're safe going to sleep at night. But I am steps away, my dear. I am steps away from coming over and just wreaking havoc. Wreaking havoc. You want to try Miss Lillian's? You got it, girl. Okay. So, I haven't used this one yet. Let's give it a shot. For those of you who may have missed yesterday, where were you? Did you have something else to do? Did you have somewhere to go? Quarantine humor. Ooh, this color is pretty. I did my first big blend, my first big girl blend with Miss Lillian's on a big piece of furniture. And I gotta say, it was awesome. It worked so well. I was so happy with it. And I also wanted to wait a day so I could let the client tell me, yes, him. Most of my clients are men. I don't know what that's about. But it's awesome because they're pretty easygoing. And they usually, I mean, some of the men let me go crazier than the women, which is great. So this one is for a friend of mine, actually, and a band member, a bandmate. And he was the one who wanted that ombre effect, and he loves it. He loves it. And we decided we're going to add a little bit of gray, just a little bit. There we go. That color is amazing. I think this is going to be very boho happy. Very boho happy. So now, let's pray that the wind stays away for a second while we do this, because we don't want these all blowing over. We're going to move these out of the way. I came out here and my phone was all the way over there, you guys. I went inside to get an extension cord. Oops. Okay. So, I'm gonna move those up there. They're full now, so I'm hoping they won't. Oh, I can hear the wind. I can hear the wind blowing. All right, so now we're gonna take this, and it's dried out a little bit in the sun. I wet it down with a hose before we started. That's as far as I can go down. And we lose signal right then. It's all right, don't worry. We got it. If we have to, we can kind of go, let me see how I can do this. Oh, I know. I'm going to put it, y'all, I am just MacGyvering the shit out of this. I'm going to put this electrical thing into water, because that's always smart. But it's working. And then I'll see if I can get my other camera back. I want it a little farther away. I don't know if I can get much farther away, you guys. So we'll just kind of do it right here. We'll do it right on here so you can see it up close until my other camera, hopefully, oh, my other camera came back. So now we have both. Okay, so now we got both. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. Y'all see me okay? Oh, yeah, I know. We're getting a nice spring here. So this is nice and wet. So I did bring out extra spray, okay, if we need to. But this is pretty saturated. This is kind of a light faded olive color. So I have no idea what's really going to happen. And I did bring this. I brought the rag that I pushed down before. And the reason I have that is that in case all my colors start to push off instead of soaking in, because you kind of want to push them in, I got my brush and this to kind of push it in. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's start with just a little, let's go a little purple. Let's just go right here in the middle with a little bit of, oh good, that's soaking right in. So you see how we put that on there? It's soaking right in. So now, here's what we're going to do. This is what I did before. I just kind of did a little design with all these colors. And I let them swirl together. So I'm letting them pool up enough so that they swirl. Does that make sense? Actually, I'm making good progress here with these colors. Don't worry, we'll do it again in case you missed it. So it's very much like when I did my floors at my studio, you guys. It's putting the colors on, letting them swirl around. This one's the Miss Lillian's. So at this stage in the game, I feel like I'm getting a very, I can't tell the difference between the paints. So, and you can kind of, if you want to dictate it a little bit, you can. But I kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. I kind of like when they all just swirl. So I kind of like being a little heavy-handed almost. Let's get some more purple in there. Happy Passover, you guys. Anybody celebrating having a crazy Seder today? I'm kind of a lapsed Jew, so we're not really doing too much there. But this was the year that I specifically made friends with a Jewish friend. She had invited me this year to participate, and, well, that's not going to happen. Anyway, how pretty is this? Are y'all digging it? Are y'all digging it with me? So this is swirling over here because of the way the cushion's going. But I'm not fighting it. Doesn't matter. I am kind of pushing it over to the edges. And I was going to push down with a piece of fabric, but I don't feel like I have to because it's soaking in well enough, but not. And then you can even kind of splatter it a little bit. It's soaking in And I don't feel like I want to press it up too much. I feel like this is good. This is actually even better than where I thought. If you are curious what would have happened, I'll show you. So if we were to go here and kind of press down and get off the excess, you can kind of see what happens there. All right, so let me tilt the camera and let's keep going, shall we? Now, I'm not going to rinse this out. This might get a little, it might feel crunchy, it might not feel crunchy. This is pretty watered down paint, you know? Let me see if I can get you guys a closer angle. I literally have this in my jar of water. Maybe I could put this somewhere else. Hold on, let me see if I can. Put that on something. It's a very coveted, sorry if I'm making you dizzy, webcam attachment. Well, I guess I could try to put it actually on my computer. Oh my God, I know, that's ridiculous, right? No, that's just showing you my computer. No, that's not going to work. Let's go back to the other way. All right, shall we? Maybe I can get that to tilt. Aha. All right, so now you can see here, though. Isn't that cool? All the different swirly colors we have going around. So let me pull this down. Oh, I almost knocked over my coffee. Hold on. Wait, I want to do this really close so you can really see it, because this is way cool. Okay, so I'm going to start. Uh-oh, wind's picking up. Wind's picking up! Just gonna pour this out. Actually, the wind's kind of cool. Just going to swirl it all over. Now, before it can totally sink in, I want you to move a little quickly, because here's what I want you to do. Get your next color on there so it swirls in with it. See? Now you get all these fun effects. I'm being a little more heavy-handed on this one, but just to show you all this fun stuff that's happening. Because there's just a little paint party happening on this thing. All right, the wind's blowing this way, so you can kind of, if you need to, there we go, I can kind of tilt it. God, this is fun. I wish you guys were here with me. I mean, you are here with me, but you know what I mean. All right, use up some other colors. I gotta say, this raspberry is mighty gorgeous. The other reason I don't want to soak any up, you guys, is that this isn't really a process for going over multiple times. Like, this is it. You know, I mean, we might be able to, but I'm afraid if we were to do this, you know, let it dry and go over it again, you know, you're not going to get it all in the same places. So that's why I'm going a little bit more heavy-handed, whereas if we were painting a couch or something like that, we might be going multiple times over this. So, and I'll pick up the camera so you guys can really see. I'm kind of doing both. I'm kind of letting it swirl where it wants to swirl. And I hardly used any paint, you guys, but I'm getting a lot of coverage. All right, does my other one come back? Let's see. Let's try that. There's probably a bit more delay outside, but just getting all around the edges now. And hopefully I'll have a pretty picnic table when this is all done too. You never know. Aw, thank you, Susie. So nice having you on here. Sometimes when I started putting this together, I feel guilty when I don't have a complete and other, how do I put this? There are people who have a brand loyalty to things, and they will never use anything but. And I think that's awesome, and I'm not that person. I just have to be honest with myself that I'm not that person, because I'm more interested in what if. I'm more interested in, well, what about this one versus this one? I mean, it's just my nature. It's just who I am. I want to know, well, what happens with this color versus this color, and this brand versus this brand, and what if it's a chalk paint, and what if it's, you know, an acrylic paint, and what if it's doesn't need a top coat, and what if it does need a top coat? So, I mean, I guess that kind of, on my hierarchy of interests, I guess that's more where I am. All right, so I'm kind of going around the edges and just filling it in. But, I mean, we're basically there. Tilt it back a little bit so you guys. I'm trying not to dump my phone in, sorry, into the paint. There we go. So just, this is kind of settled in, but it still has a vibrancy. That really still has a vibrancy. I'm going to go around the edges. Mixing up all my colors. I would say, Sadie, don't fall asleep and fall off, please. So you got, so about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I had my friend build my daughter a tree house, and I was really proud of it, and I was really excited. I kind of had this idea, this kind of magical, romantic notion of my daughter reading in her tree house and having her friends over and enjoying the tree house, you know, just that kind of suburban mom in me. And she would definitely use it, but not very much. And it's pretty high up. I'll show you. And it kind of sticks out. My friend Peter built it, and I knew that this thing was built to last, but she really didn't use it that much. And I was just like, I don't know. We do that, right? We buy these kids toys, and we buy them games, and we buy them so many things that they use for 2 seconds and then toss. And I was like, this is a freaking treehouse, man. Where's the magic? So yesterday we're out here, and she loves finding little nooks and crannies and stuff to like read and just relax, and she loves having a view, and Sadie's really, really, really missed having her outdoors as her domain and going running, and I've been sad for her for that. And then we were outside, and she was playing with the dog, and I was like, well, have you gone up in your treehouse in a while? And she was like, what? I was like, frickin' treehouse. 30 feet in the air treehouse that I got. You can see the whole neighborhood. I built you. She's like, oh yeah. So she's been up there reading, listening to music. Like, I love it. I love that she's like, so just wait. Those things that, you know, weren't getting used. I think my favorite meme, I'm just dabbling a few more places on with this lighter teal because it's pretty. I think I loved that meme. You guys seen it? That said, it is now clear that no, if you do have all the time in the world, you're not going to clean your house. Or it wasn't a lack of time that was keeping you from cleaning your house, playing with your children, doing games, like all these things that were like, oh, if only I had more time. It's kind of a release, don't you think? It's kind of magical that it's like, that wasn't the thing. We just don't like playing board games. Bye, monkey. Or that just isn't our thing. Or we just don't like our kids. No, that's not our thing. But I think I don't know about you guys, but it's forcing me at least to go peel that onion, man. Peel that self-reflective onion, and man, you peel it and you cry. You peel it and you cry. But if there's anything I'm trying to do during this, it's not necessarily getting organized, but it is like when so many things shift, your story has to shift. Because if your story was, I would do this if only this, and then you get only this for 30 days straight and you still don't do this, you gotta let go of that story, man. Gotta find another story. And that's okay. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, I actually think that's kind of exciting that we get to let go of those if onlys because, well, they're bullshit. Okay, I'm gonna tilt this over. And so that's my waxing poetic today. Let me pull this over and then I'm gonna give you a close-up. And then I'll probably do, well, I want to let this dry and then maybe do one more panel. Let's see if I can slide it. Uh-oh. Oh, I stuck. I want to see how this other one's doing. There we go. There we go. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's unhook and flip. This front-facing camera, it just shows so much more detail. What do you guys think? No! I don't want to lose connection now. I'm showing you the reveal. Fine, I'll do it with the webcam. Sorry, the webcam doesn't have as good resolution, but I'll take some pictures and let you guys see how this turned out. So as it sunk in, I feel like I'm doing an ultrasound right now, you guys. I'm basically like, I'm holding up the webcam with one hand and I'm moving it around so we can try to see the effect. I love this effect though. Look at that. With all the swirlies coming down. It's working really good. Oh, my other camera's back. Oh my goodness. I'm like having to be like major tech engineer here with these two cameras outside. I'm hoping. So this is my setup. I'm able to see your comments here. This is the webcam I'm using. This is the water I'm trying not to spill on myself. And here are all the paints. And there's my coffee. And this is an old paint thing I had. So yeah, production value is low, people. But look at this. It's actually better when I'm in the shadow. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yes. All right. And so all right. I'm just going to have to get you guys some pictures. This was fun. You like? You like it? All right. I'm trying to get a new camera so I don't have to go web to web to web to web. I'll just be locked in with my new camera. So wish me luck. Friday's my birthday. That everybody sends me cash because they can't send me presents or go shopping. So if I get all the cash, I'm going to go on eBay and I'm going to buy a DSLR camera that I can hook up right here, and then we won't have to worry about going through my phone anymore. Fingers crossed! All right, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 5. We'll either be in the studio or here. No matter where we'll be having fun. Peace out. Bye. Oh, that's not where I say goodbye anymore. I just had my grand exit. But yet, there we go.